How's it going, crew? This is Happy Days and welcome to the Darkest Dungeon. This is a roguelike RPG game, and if you haven't played a roguelike before, that's the sort of game that each time you play it, the layout of the levels can be different and the skills your character gets can be different. They're generally, when you die in them as well, it's usually permanent, which is the fact in this game too. One thing to note before I start doing this Let's Play series is the narrator's voice in this game is amazing. So when he talks, I'm just going to fall silent, and as soon as he stops, I'm going to start talking again. Mostly because we've both got big, deep voices, and I don't want it to get too messy. So I'm going to click on some locations. We've just finished the tutorial, and we're going to get set up for the game.
Women and men, soldiers and outlaws, fools and corpses. All will find their way to us now that the road is clear.
Okay, so the stagecoach is where you get your new characters from. Each time you come back from an adventure, there'll be new characters waiting for you. And basically, one of the first things you can do is upgrade your stagecoach. And you've got things down here. These are the, I don't know, relics you get from your abandoned manor that you're reclaiming. So you click on Stagecoach, and the best thing to upgrade first is the Stagecoach network.
More arrive, foolishly seeking fortune and glory in this domain of the damned.
So you can see it costs a set amount of the relics that you get from questing. So the best thing you can do is upgrade that twice at the start, which means next time we come to this screen there'll be 4 heroes here for next week, which will be really good. He's going to talk again and introduce each character as I put them in the party.
A sister of battle, pious and unrelenting.
And it's really cool. It sort of it just introduces you to the class when you drag them in.
What better laboratory than the blood-soaked battlefield?
Okay, the other place, well actually the only other place you can investigate is the graveyard.
Most will end up here, covered in the poisoned earth, awaiting merciful oblivion.
It's a very common characteristic of roguelikes to show you all the characters that have died in your game. So basically the first thing we're going to do is embark on our quest.
A mecca of madness and morbidity. Your work begins.
Okay. And it shows you there's 5 locations in this game, and the first place you investigate is the ruins. 2 are still in development. One is the Darkest Dungeon, which I find really funny because that's what the game is called. And you've got 4 portraits down here, and you can see I've got 4 out of 9 heroes, so you do end up with quite a few characters or heroes in the game. So you drag them into the box here, and you always start with these 4 in a new game, at the moment. Okay, the character to the rightmost will be in the lead, and then the character to the leftmost will be in the back. So I'll just right click on them. Now, if you love stats, you're gonna love this game. It's got heaps of stuff. It's got skills, it's got camp skills, statistics, resistances. You can upgrade your equipment later on. You start with buffs, and they're random. And you also start with negative penalties, I suppose. So this one's annoying. It means they might steal your treasure occasionally. Alright, so I'll just right click on the other heroes too to give you a look. So we started with the Crusader. We've got a Highwayman, or Highwayman. There's also a Vestal. Actually, I should be saying what they are. A Crusader is like a tank / melee character. A Highwayman's like your DPS, sort of assassin sort of type. A Vestal is kind of a mix. It's like a cleric. It kind of has melee and healing. And a Plague Doctor is kind of like a curse debuff character. Okay, and it just shows you the rewards you can get if you complete all the rooms and things. Well, actually, if you win the dungeon, this is what you get. And that actually looks really nice, that item. Then you click on the provisions screen.
The cost of preparedness, measured now in gold, later in blood.
Okay, one thing you need to take on all your quests, and you just left click to buy. You take about 8 lots of food, Each character consumes 1 portion. And I normally buy 8 torches. Torches light up the dungeon, and light is a mechanic in this game that can affect how strong the monsters are, but also the loot that you can find. I also buy 1 shovel in case there's blockages, and I'll explain why if we bump into one. And I usually just buy 1 key for the first dungeon. You don't really need anything else just yet. And then you click embark. So once you're into the dungeon, guys, you can't actually buy any more items. You have to, it's just whatever loot you find in there.
The fiends must be driven back. And what better place to begin than the seat of our noble line?
Okay, so here we are in a room screen. So map is here, right click to drag. It's good to scroll it out a bit with your mouse wheel. So our quest up here is to complete 100% of room battles. So all these large square rooms we possibly have to visit. So let's get this first one out of the way. Now these alchemy stations sometimes do good things, sometimes do bad things. So this is the fun of a roguelike. Sometimes it'll help, sometimes it won't. Sometimes they do nothing. Okay, loot, bit of gold. It's pretty cool. And a battle. Alrighty. So, here's a larger scale battle. And basically, characters' attack options depend where they are in the party. So for example, this first attack, open vein, the yellow dots mean they have to be in the first 3 positions, so 1, 2, or 3, and the red dots are what they can target, and it highlights them with these little red target boxes. With the Highwayman, I like to open up with a area of effect attack. See how the 3 red dots are joined? That means it'll target everything. And I like to do that just to get some early damage on everything. And it puts some of them in death range. Okay, so I don't have a mace skill. That seems like it might do a fair bit of damage. So it only takes 20% off our normal damage. So let's see if that'll kill it. Ah, 1 shot. That's a shame. Okay, so the Plague Doctor has a few curse attacks. It's got a stun there, which can stun things. An important thing to note, see how on the red dots it targets the back 2? That means it'll target 3 and 4 spot. So it doesn't move forward just because monsters are missing. So that attack's only going to hit the back guy. Important to note. Alright, I'm going to use Noxious Blast and try and finish off this front guy.
Press this advantage. Give them no quarter.
I find...
How quickly the tide turns.
Ouch. I find in this game, if you can finish off a guy, it's usually a better option than just trying to get cute. So the sooner you can take him out, that's 1 less guy attacking you. Now the Crusader has a area of effect attack, and let's see if it can take out either of them. Alright, it got them pretty low. So, let's use Noxious Blast again, try and take out this back guy.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
Now, this guy's only got 1 hit point left. I could heal it. No, I don't really need too much healing. Let's just use... Let's use this one because it gives us a bit of torchlight too.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
Alright, and that's pretty much combat. Okay, so we're about to enter this room. And there's nothing in there. But we had to check it. Otherwise it would have been a lot of backtracking later. You'll notice the screen just got a bit darker because the light's going down. So we get more stress. And there's less chance of surprising monsters now. I'm actually going to let it get a bit darker just to show you what happens. Alright, so now we're in this room again. Let's drag this back over and travel along here. Those white and black spheres, they're the character's stress levels going up. I really like it because if you were in a dungeon full... Oh, jeez.
Ancient traps lie in wait, unsprung and thirsting for blood.
If you were in a deadly dungeon, you'd be getting pretty freaked out too, in real life. Let's all be honest here. Alright, so this is where we have to eat. If you don't have food, the characters will all take 20% damage for each character that can't eat. So you can see food's pretty important. Okay, here's a box. Ooh. Alright, the torch must be getting low. Alright, so you can see now, lots of stress. Monster accuracy is up. But we got a more chance of loot now and criticals. So I think it increases the loot quality when it gets darker. Alright, let's go in here. And a battle. Ah, we got surprised. Damn it. So, these spiders are weaker, but they're quick, so sometimes they dodge a lot too. Alright, this time I'm going to use the Plague Doctor's stun move because it'll get the benefit of both. You can check their stun chance by hovering over. So they've got a 25% chance of stun resist, which means they're most likely going to get stunned. As long as they don't dodge the attacks. Little buggers. Alright, I need to get this girl off the front row. There's not much she can do. So I'm actually going to waste... I'm not going to waste a turn, but I'm going to swap it back. Alright, now the Highwayman doesn't get his area of effects shot from the back row, so I'm going to move him forward. It's worthwhile wearing a turn or two of not ideal moves to get your party back to the way you want it. So I'm going to use the Crusader's area of effect attack. And that means the Highwayman should finish them off. Okay. Alright, so because I used that area of effect attack, hopefully 2 of these die this turn. And they did, beautiful. Alright, I could do a party heal here, or try and take out this extra spider. I think getting rid of an enemy is better than healing for a couple of points. I found that's always the better move, in the early game anyway. Because that means, quite simply, less attacks. Now this might die in one hit if I'm lucky. Yeah.
Executed with impunity.
Beautiful. Alright, I'm actually going to turn the torchlight back on. And I do recommend it at first because it means you're more likely going to not get surprised as much. Oh my gosh! The surprises! And that's what I mean about this game being tough. Like, you get put in non-ideal situations quite a lot. Alright, what's the best move here? Deafening Blast. No. Alright, I'll try and get Blight on the... Oh, I can't get it on the Courtier. This guy increases your stress really quickly. I might just... Oh... Yeah, alright, I'm gonna swap him. Okay, she's only got Illumination. But I don't really want the Highwayman in the front row, so... Yes!
Singular strike!
Awesome. That worked out quite nicely. Okay, bleed attacks don't work on zombies. I mean skeletons, because they have no blood, obviously. Alright, let's see if we can take out one with a... Yes!
Be gone, fiend! A devastating blow.
If you land a crit, it actually reduces your stress. So it is good to try crit attacks once in a while. Blight can affect skeletons. So it's like the poison for skeletons, I suppose. Beautiful. Damn, it's going to survive by 1 hit point. Alright, let's see if we can take him out. Excellent.
A trifling victory, but a victory nonetheless.
Don't forget to reorganize your party. What am I doing? And I think I want him there, which means... No, his skills are more from the third position. And this is why I brought a shovel, guys.
Even the cold stone seems bent on preventing passage.
If you don't have a shovel, it wastes your torchlight, it takes longer so your characters get hungry. So it's very much worth putting one shovel in. These confession booths, I find, normally just upset your characters, in my experience. Scouting is just giving you an idea of what's along each passageway. Blue boxes are items. Purple are events, I think, and red are sort of fights. Okay, so this doesn't look like it's a fight room, hopefully. Oh, yeah, well done, Happy. But they're surprised, for once. For once, something went our way, guys. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, let's get... how can you dodge if you're surprised? Sucks. Okay. I'd like to try and take him out if I can. So when they're surprised, you get a free round on all the monsters. Okay, hopefully this takes out all three. Yes. Beautiful. Okay, you got cursed. Oh, blighted. A thing to note too, status effects last outside of battle. Well, blight and bleed do anyway. And let's use illumination. And we should be able to finish him off. Lovely.
As victories mount, so too will resistance.
Okay guys, this is why I brought a key along. So if you open a locked object, it usually traps you and you get no loot. But if you put a key on it, you always get the loot and it avoids traps. Sometimes it's not really a good payoff, so this is probably below average. Sometimes it's way above average. So you're never going to know unless you give it a go. Alright, just looking, we've got about half the dungeon left. I'm just looking at time, guys. I'm trying to keep my episodes shorter these days. So I'm going to leave it there. In the next episode, we'll finish off the dungeon, and I'll show you how to heal your characters when you get back to town. Alright, smash that like button if you're enjoying this. Leave a comment if you'd like to see anything or ask any questions. And if you haven't subscribed yet, guys, hit that subscribe button. We play a lot of Terraria here, but this could be a potential new series. As always, stay happy, and I'll see you next time. HappyDays signing out.